Hey guys, Everything Tech Pro here, and as promised, I'm uploading the video right after the end of the keynote for the Apple event. So, in this video we'll be seeing what Apple announced today on the 27th October 2016 event. So, starting first as usual, the keynote was addressed by Tim Cook, and actually he was talking about how awesome the products they launched earlier was. As usual, you could say that, and comparing to the number of users in Android and iOS on the current firmware. Then, speaking about the iOS 10.1, which was launched earlier this week with the depth effect, the Apple Pay being launched in Japan, all these things have been addressed by Tim Cook. So the first product in line was Apple TV. So not exactly like we saw a newer Apple TV. Instead, we were focused more upon the apps department of Apple TV. Rather speaking, it has a lot of apps existing since its creation, with around 8,000 apps already, and we came to know that Minecraft is coming to Apple TV. And what Apple this time is trying to create a new experience is a unified TV experience, which means that you could actually it's like an anywhere TV mode. Like you could watch a TV from your Apple TV as well as your iPad and from your iPhone. So for that, they are going to launch the TV app for the Apple TV as well as for the iPads and iPhone. So you could watch TV from anywhere, literally anywhere you are. Just what is required is a good internet connection. So in the Apple TV, we were shown various features, and with the Watch Now feature, wherever you left off in your Apple TV, you can directly continue off from your iPad or iPhone, and it's available December in US. So the next thing we saw was directly jumping onto the Macs, because there are no other devices to be updated, because iPads and all other devices have been refreshed just this year. So it just brings on to Mac. And this was a portion I was really excited to see what Apple had on their sleeve. They could get it all off right now. So first of all, the same, they're talking about the existing lineups of MacBooks and how the macOS Sierra is one of the greatest Mac OSs currently running, and also it is the 25th 25 years have been passed on till the very first personal computer or laptop came into existence from Apple, and it was the Macintosh right on the screen, and then the iBook and all that stuff. Then the Macintosh was introduced, the MacBook Pros, and then recently the Retina Display MacBook Pro. So what we are going to have on the MacBook Pro is similar to what we saw in the leaks and rumors. Absolutely true. This time we'll be having an OLED touch bar as predicted by the KGI Securities and Minchi Cow, and also even with Mac rumors and many other people. A new touch bar instead of the function keys on the top, which supports almost everything, emojis maybe, and it changes based on the application. So the leaks and rumors were true, and there's nothing new we learned. It's just the same thing. You're gonna have a same laptop with a customized touch bar, and you're gonna have all the features from the MacBooks, like the butterfly keyboard on the MacBook right now. And also what they have done is just increase the size of the trackpad comparing to the MacBooks which are currently existing. So what they're claiming is now the MacBook, same as I guess the best feature I loved is gone. The glowing Apple logo is gone. So the glowing Apple logo is gone. The MagSafe connector is history now. Goodbye for that. And the USB port, the general normal USB port, is also history. Instead, it has 4 USB-C type slots, which is also can connect a Thunderbolt port. Many other ports can be connected to that. 2 new sizes, the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the 15-inch MacBook Pro, and this is the thinnest and lightest MacBook Pro ever. So we saw what are the specifications, how lighter it is, and how brighter the display is, and all the new features of the MacBook Pro. Then we came to know about intensively about what a touch bar can do on your Mac. So before that, we saw the Force Touch trackpad, which is currently existing in the MacBooks, and it's now 2x larger. The keyboard design has been changed a bit. It's a bigger keyboard and uses the second generation, butterfly mechanism of keyboarding. Then we intensively saw what is actually the OLED bar. So what happens is, whenever you give a command, like you give in the touch command on your phone, it works in your MacBook as well. And it is customizable. That's the main part of it. It's not fixed. You could customize how your OLED touch bar in the MacBook Pro would look like. And what they call it is simply the touch bar. So then we were given several demos, and we were told that it is application specific. Like, it could change based on what application is currently running. For example, you're running a text editor document, it just gives the auto type suggestions, editing and all can be done. And the next feature, which I posted in my Facebook page just before some time, is now MacBook Pros come with a Touch ID. So it's like you can authorize your Apple Pay from your MacBook Pro and even unlock your MacBook Pro using the Touch ID. So it uses the same second generation Touch ID as that of the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus and even 7 Plus. So, and it has a sapphire crystal. So, and all this has been accomplished using the Apple T1 chip, which is used for Touch ID and has a secure enclave. So this is all what we saw for the MacBook Pro. The main point is, we almost know everything before the Apple event. It's just not so good that Apple is doing, because if they are familiar or they know that their topics are being leaked, I think they should control that, because now there's like no surprises. We already know what's down the sleeve for Apple, what is coming. Do they do it on purpose? I don't know. But and here you can see the customizable. How do you customize your touch bar? Just click, drag, and then boom, it just comes inside the touch bar, which is there. So then next we were told that how you could use it for FaceTime, calendars, and all the other apps. So that's really good of Apple. And the display, they haven't told what is the resolution, and I don't think it's going to be a 4K or some kind of display, but I think the display remains the same with like the wider color gamut display on the iPhone 7. And now the 15-inch MacBook Pro will be having the Intel Core i7 6th generation Skylake processors with a quad core and 2133 MHz memory. And it'll have the rumored Radeon Pro graphics processor, which has up to 4 GB of graphics RAM and is having a hard drive of maximum up to 2 TB as compared to the 1 TB right now. So that's all about the internals, and they are actually, the point is the speakers of the MacBook Pro are also great. Actually, they now support the dual speakers, and which was already there, but now they cover more distance, and some performance comparisons between various scenarios. So that mainly sums up for what MacBook Pro is. And what's my review about the MacBook Pro? I would say it's a really great laptop to buy if you don't have one, or if you're sticking with an older laptop like the MacBook Air I'm having, 2012 model. If given a chance, I would definitely switch over to the newer MacBook Pro. And earlier I said that this time we'll be seeing an updated refresh cycle of the MacBooks, but that didn't happen. That rumor went down. But what we saw was the same 10-hour battery life MacBook, but not 3. So now we're having a 3 MacBook Pros, 2 as usual, like the 13-inch MacBook Pro and the 15-inch MacBook Pro, and the third one is much like the MacBook with the normal function keys, no OLED bar, and it's gonna just be like the updated version for the MacBook. So 13-inch MacBook Pro and 2 13-inch MacBook Pros, and one with a touch bar and Touch ID and the other without. So that's the prices is for the one without the touch bar, it's $14.99. And for the 13-inch MacBook Pro with Touch ID and Touch Bar is about $17.99, and for the 15-inch MacBook Pro it's about $23.99. So prices almost remain the same, and ordering continues today. And shipping for the 13-inch MacBook Pro without the touch bar and the touch ID is today, and others it would take 2 to 3 weeks. So that's all about what we saw in the Apple event today. And if you ask me, MacBook Pro is a great deal to buy if you're on an older Mac, maybe like the MacBook Pro older one or even a MacBook Air. It's recommended to go. So these are the first impressions on the MacBook Pro. As time passes, we'll definitely know what's there and what's not, because Apple never tells everything about their products. So that's it, guys. I'm just signing off with this. As promised, I reported after the keynote, and that's it for today, guys. So see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day if you are in somewhere in US. If you are in India, have a great night, have a great sleep, and then I'll see you up in the next video. Until next time, it's peace out.